Alright, updated mastering techniques. I'm going to be doing this again this year. I did this back in 2024 and people loved it. And basically, if I'm doing something in the studio that's unique or different, or I just want to share it with somebody, this is where I do it. Now, vinyl mastering. Yesterday I was getting a vinyl master prepped for a London rapper. Can't say the name, can't say the project. I'm going to keep my lips shut, other than rapper, London. Really cool project, really great artist. Can't say more than that. Sorry. But I'm going to go over this vinyl master, a particular thing I had to deal with. If you're interested in vinyl mastering, I've got a whole video breaking down my whole process on that. I'll leave a link in the description, but this is one very specific thing which happened and I've changed the way I've approached it. Now, I use Simulath to generate heat maps as I'm prepping the side A and the side B. When I was prepping the side A, I noticed on the velocity heat map that this particular song, track 5 on side A, was really hot. Now, I can't play you the audio, I can just describe to you what's happening so you can understand. Basically, the velocity, this heat map tracks how fast the cutter head's moving. And the speed of the cutter head is dictated by the distance it travels. So if it's traveling a greater distance per second, it's going to heat up, it's going to cause distortion, it's no good. And also you risk the chance of the cutting engineer seeing that it's going to be running fast and just placing a shelf or a pass filter across all your top end and then ruining the sound of the record. A good cutting engineer wouldn't do that, but you don't want to run that risk. You want to make sure nothing is moving faster than about 35 centimeters a second when I'm generating this heat map. So it's moving too fast. And if we zoom in here, can't play you the audio, but this is snare drums. Really spiky, sizzly snare drums on the 2 and the 4 cracking through. Now, Simulath has a feature to manage the top end. It's good, it's not great. Typically in the past, I've used FabFilter Pro MB as a multi-band dynamics compressor on the top end, and it sort of just treats everything with one brush. You've seen me use this on the channel recently. High fell. High fell in this circumstance is great. You can see the automation lane is enabled, and I'll show you the arrangement of the track layout. But basically, I've got high fell on that snare drum at the top end, and it just controls it. When it comes in, super spiky, super hot, boom, it just puts it back down in its place in a beautiful way. You can even see the attack is on fast because I tested on slow and it didn't track well. And then when I go to the heat map here, post that processing, so I made 2 channel lanes here so you could see that because I can't actually play the audio because it's not released. Now on the heat map, we're way better. We're way better and we're good. So this is important. Listening to the high fell is important as well because the beautiful about a high frequency acceleration limiter, this is actually what they were designed for. I think it was a Neumann B746, where that was actually a high frequency acceleration limiter specifically for cutting lathes. That was the original Neumann B746, I think it was, and it would measure the current going to the needle head and going to the cutter head, and pre the cutter head it would limit the amount of current based on the velocity of the current. So the amount of current coming into the signal, it would actually manage that as a high frequency limiter. And I've got a whole video I've got to do I'm putting together for high fell, and I'll detail all that for you. But for now, the cool thing is I can say that when I'm managing vinyl masters, I'm using high fell for any time the heat map is tracking really hot on the velocity. If it's going over 35 centimeters a second on the heat map, I'm using high fell to deal with it, and it does a great job. Also, before we close out that, let's go over to here. You can see here, where's my master bypass? It was just one track I needed to do it on, which is good. So I got my sequence of tracks, and then here I've just bypassed that in. So when I put the cursor here, it's on. When I put the cursor back, it's off. Simple. We're going to get to the next one. The next one's going to be... Actually, while that loads, I might put you on something. My newsletter is not only the best newsletter for working audio professionals, I'm also dropping a masterclass at the end of the month, which is like super detailed on ear training, sample rates and sample rate conversion in mastering, and managing macro dynamics. They're 3 extension modules to my advanced mastering details masterclass, which I'm putting out at the end of the month. So 2 things will happen. You'll either subscribe to the newsletter and get some really good drip just week to week for forever if you stay subscribed. And also, you'll get an opportunity to access the masterclass early at the end of the month if you so want to enjoy that. Now, let's get to the juice of what I've got here. Now, this track I can play you because it is released and I have clearance. Isn't that beautiful? I might have already done a session of this on the channel. This is Backyard Business, Your Friend. Take a listen to this. Actually, no. Yep, take a listen.
Stop to pretend you were lost cigarette.
Now, in terms of updated mastering technique, I have been using not hi-fi, I was going to say hi-fi, I have been using hi-fi a lot, I just showed you it, but the DW Fern VT7. And I've mainly been doing it, and I've showed this in videos before, but I think this has just been a real savior on so many situations where I don't want to use an EQ. Basically, I'll put the input down here. Actually, no, I'll put the output down. There we go, bring the output down. And just through this, I'm able to get this nice lift in harmonics below 100 Hertz. So I'm getting odd order harmonics in the low end simply by using this gain knob. Use that gain knob and it just sweetens up the subs in the low end in a really nice way. The reason why I like this is because typically, if you want more low end, well, you get an EQ and you crank the EQ. But then you crank the EQ on the low end and you're boosting the fundamental, which is fine, and that can be okay. But, and I'm going to play you audio an example in a second, which you may have already heard. But the problem with just going to EQ is that by raising that fundamental, you change the relative level of the fundamental frequencies to the top end. So you automatically just shift the tone of the whole mix to big in the low end. And then the top end might feel a lot weaker. The benefit of the Fern is by adding the third and fifth order harmonics to the sub-region, so using this gain knob here and thickening it up, and actually as you add more compression, that gets more thicker there, and that fundamental comes down. By thickening it up with just harmonics, what ends up happening is the fundamental stays relatively level to the top frequencies, and you get an introduction of new harmonics, which are discrete components of the original. This, to me, is a more musical way to thicken out the low end. And where have I been using it? I've been using it on anything rock, anything mixed super hot, because stylistically, when people mix hot, they tend to push the mid-range a bit. The low end starts to lack a bit. Cool, that's fine. It sounds good as a mix, but it might not have the weight the client is after. And for this, if I A/B this on and off, you just hear the weight of that kick drum just completely smack you in the chest. And that's the big fat panorama mastering preset. So if you actually get the plugin, I'm pretty sure I've got my presets here with the plugin. And just take a listen to this off and on.
Maybe I should stay over. You see this is commotion, and the fact that I'm not sober. I don't wanna be your friend. Can we stop to pretend you were lost cigarette?
It's just big, it's fat. I think this is just a great tool, the Fern VT7, for exactly that. I'm using this more often than I'm using a low shelf to boost, because this is really musical. And you know, when I first got it, I was using it a bit on and off, and I'm like, oh, is this just going to be a fad sort of thing, like that I'm just enjoying right now? But it's stuck in the tool set as like my little savior in many circumstances, and it keeps coming back. So I thought that'd be fun to just show you why and what it is, and I'll leave a link to that in the description below. It's not my plugin, it's Kalen Enak. He's another mixing engineer, and he's a co-owner of Mixwave. Really nice guy. Cool story now. Story time. 2022. Okay, 2022 would have been June 2022 in Burbank at Echo Bar. There was an after party for NAMM. Now, NAMM's usually in January if you're asking about the dates. This was just because of all the COVID stuff happening. Anyway, I'm at the time taking Harvard's CS50 course, so I can learn more about programming, so I can make my own plugins. That's never eventuated, but I was just really in the thick of it. And me, Kalen, and Zach, who's a mixer up in New York, Kalen's in LA, we're just talking about programming. And I'm like, I really want to make my own plugins. I'm saying, and Kalen's like, yeah, I really want to get into that game too. And we're all three, and Zach's like, I made some stuff when I was like, in my earlier days, like toying around with programming and using this code stuff. And I'm like, cool, that's cool. And then we all sort of separated on our own ways. And then the next time I came to LA in 2025, because I had a kid in between, I skipped a year, came back in 2025, this is last year, Kalen had released plugins under Mixwave. And he had started up his whole company and he'd been doing his thing, and I was so proud of him, and I'm like giving him thumbs up. And then again this year, he's got some cool things in the work with Mixwave, and I'm proud of stories like that. Like, I like to know the people behind it and where their passion comes from. And this is definitely, where are we? Mixwave. This is definitely something I can get behind because I use it personally, and yeah, it's a good crew there. So look, I'll leave you with that. That's updated mastering techniques for today. I am going to shut down for the day, try edit this video in exactly 13 minutes, because I want to go spend some time just decompressing, because tomorrow I've got another big one. All right, until next time, peace and take care.